It's summertime. It's hot outside. Probably hotter than Satan's crack right about now. And you want a nice, refreshing, summery dessert, but you don't want to spend all day inside making it because if your house is anything like mine, if it's hot on the outside, it's pretty miserable on the inside, even with the AC on. If you know what I'm talking about, then you can get down with this. Today, I want to show you a quick, simple way of making a refreshing, vibrant, and delicious lemon bar. So let's not waste any more time, and let's get to the crust. So it's time to get started on our shortbread crust. So in this container, I have 1 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour, and to that, we're going to be adding 1/2 cup of regular granulated sugar. Then we're going to be topping that off with 1/2 teaspoon of fine sea salt or table salt, and 1 1/2 teaspoons of cornstarch. That's going to help this thing get crispy and hold up to the wet, heavy ingredients that are going on top of it. We're going to be doing this recipe in the food processor, which might seem a little unconventional, but we're doing a quick food hack, which I don't do often, but on a hot summer day, you shouldn't really have to slave in a hot kitchen to get a refreshing treat. I'm mixing all my dry ingredients by hand to skip that step at the food processor, and speaking of which, let's go there now. In the cup of our food processor, we're going to add in all of our nicely combined dry ingredients. After you see me struggle putting the lid back on this thing, we're going to leave the spout top open so we can add in 12 tablespoons of cold unsalted butter, and I have my food processor currently on a low pulse to make sure everything gets combined. We're adding this in pieces to make sure we're not overloading the blades of our food processor, and we're going to continue adding this in, and once everything is in there, we're going to turn this up to a high pulse, and what we want to see is kind of like some nice sandy beads, kind of like we do whenever we make biscuit dough in the food processor, or like the Talera breads. We cut fat into flour a lot, and if you haven't seen either one of those videos, what's wrong with you guys? There's going to be a card floating around here for each of those, and a link in the description. And now that we have all of those nice sandy pebbles in our cup here, we're going to go ahead and combine 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Please use the real stuff. No fake on this channel, okay? None. To 1 egg yolk. I'm going to stir that together and stream that in. All right, and now that that's done, we're going to go ahead and pulse this on a higher pulse to get everything kind of creamed together. And after that, it's all looking like a nice sandy paste. We're going to go ahead and take it to our 9x13 baking dish that's been lined with parchment paper. Please don't forget to remove the blades of your food processor before dumping this into the pan, because I don't know about you guys, but I have kind of an unhealthy habit of cutting my fingers on those. So let's not do that today. All right, and I know this looks like a very unorganized, clumpy mess, but that's okay. We're going to work this dough with our hands to span the entire length of this 9x13 as best we can, making sure it's as smooth as possible. And after a couple minutes, we got something that's, looks pretty decent here. So what I'm doing now is taking a fork and pricking the insides of this shortbread pastry here. This is going to keep the dough from puffing up too much and cook. And it's going to make it cook a lot more evenly. Now that that's all said and done, we're going to toss this into the oven on 325. I want to set the timer for about 25 minutes. I want to check it at 22 just to make sure. We're not looking to cook this all the way. We are par cooking this crust to make sure it can withstand all the heavy lemon curd that's going to be on top of it. So I will see you in about 22 minutes. While that is baking off in the oven, we're going to go ahead and throw together a really quick lemon curd filling. So inside of this container is 2 whole eggs and 1 egg yolk. Yeah, I'm trying to get a better angle, but All right, and to that, we're going to be adding a whole cup of regular granulated sugar. And then we're going to go ahead and cream that off. This is the base of our lemon curd. This takes almost no time to create. All right, and after all that is nice and whisked together and completely emulsified, we're going to go ahead and add in 1/4 cup of fresh squeezed lemon juice. Now, if you're kind of struggling with life like I am at the moment, then you already throw away your lemons after you juice them. You could have totally zested that. You need ideally about a tablespoon of lemon zest, but it's kind of late now for me to do that. However, my redeeming quality is I'm using fresh, not bottled lemon juice, and it makes all the difference. So after all of that is thoroughly combined, and that should loosen up some of your custard, we're going to go ahead and add in 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour and 1/4 teaspoon of table salt. And what that's going to do is add structure and stability to our lemon curd, so that way it holds up in the oven and forms that nice gelatinous center. And now that all of that is completely mixed up and looking beautiful, you don't want to see any raw flour remaining. We're just going to put this to the side, and we're going to wait on our beautiful shortbread crust to finish cooking. All right, and my crust took a little bit longer to cook than anticipated. This took about 30 minutes. All we're looking for is some golden crust. So we're going to allow this to cool for about 10 minutes before we put on our lemon curd. And it is super crucial to let this cool down a little bit because you don't want the eggs cooking on a super hot cookie. No one really wants a lemon scramble on top of their shortbread, but I mean, I could be wrong. You could. But that'll be the last get-together or family function you'll ever attend, probably because they'll kill you. All right, so what I'm doing here is putting on this nice lemon curd. I want to get a nice spatula and get everything out of here, and this is actually spanning the entire shortbread cookie crust. And now that that is all said and done, we're going to pop this bad boy in the oven on 350 and let it cook for about 25 minutes. And I'm already excited because this smells amazing already. It's been 25 minutes and this is absolutely cooked to perfection. So what we're going to do now is let it sit at room temperature for about an hour. Then we're going to pop it in the fridge for an additional hour to cool down. The long-awaited cool down period is over, and this is what we have. I want to try to pry this thing off of the parchment with a rubber spatula, but as I'm doing this, I'm noticing it's coming up off the paper on its own, so I'm going to very gently slide this off the parchment. Guys, if you don't feel comfortable with this, take your time or just use the spatula, but look at that, unharmed, straight into the pan. All right, and now what we've got here is 1 cup of powdered sugar, confectioner's sugar, or as the wonderful people in the UK call it, icing sugar. Whatever you want to call it, cocaine, I don't care. Let's go ahead and start sifting this over our finished lemon bars. And as it turns out, as we're making it snow, we don't need nearly as much sugar as I portioned out, but as always, it's better to have more than enough than to run out. All right, and after our beautiful lemon bars are topped with a generous layer of powdered sugar, it's time to cut these guys into some respectable sized portions. And all that's left to be done now is my favorite part, and that's testing this out. And I'm so excited, I'm hungry, and I can't wait. All right, guys, and that is it. That is the holy grail of low stress lemon bars. Only one thing left to do. Here's the summer. Whoa! We made a lot of desserts on this channel so far. I would definitely say that this is by far the lowest stress, lowest work put into a dessert ever that I've done. But we did not sacrifice flavor. This is, hands down, the best lemon bar I've ever had in my life. You know, and it was easy. Do we go out to the store and get a pre-baked crust? Do we get any sort of prepackaged, lemon bar mixes, lemon cake mixes, anything like that? No, we didn't. This took minimal effort, and we still made everything from scratch in a way that you wouldn't have to be slaving over the stove. You don't have to hover over the stove for this recipe. You don't have to pace a hole in your floor waiting for things to happen because you can't walk away from it. Now, granted, I have ADHD, and I walk a hole in my floor every day. That's what I do. I will do it anywhere. I will walk a hole in your floor waiting on something, guaranteed. And the thing is this means the less time you're in the kitchen, the more time you have to enjoy summer. And isn't that what it's all about? You could totally day drink and make these. Now, I'm giving you guys some really horrible ideas. I wouldn't do that if I were you, but if you can multitask, then I respect that, especially with alcohol. But what I'm saying is you don't have to be in a hot kitchen on a hot day to get a fresh, fast, and tasty treat, guys. Cooking does not have to be difficult. Cooking does not have to be hard, and this is case in point proof right here. That's the whole reason I started this channel. Guys, get in the kitchen and make something. Make some lemon bars. Make anything, damn it. But also, I thank you Yes, you, the one watching this. I appreciate everything. There's a lot of new people on this channel. I love you all. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. My name is Mark, also known as the Mad Chef. I don't know what your name is, but you're awesome, and I'll see you in the next video. Love you.